When I ride with a garrocha, one of the first exercises I like to do is one that diagnoses how circles are going. So you see I have one end of the garrocha in the ground. Oh, and you just noticed I used my outside leg there because my horse is starting to drift away from the circle that I'm trying to ride. And because the pole is a fixed length, if we stay the same distance away from where it's on the ground, we'll be making a perfect circle. So as we come in front of the camera, that's when the horse was tending to fall a little bit more to the outside. And I'm getting him a little bit more between my legs here, and the circle's becoming rounder. And we also notice that he's starting to bend a little bit more without extra input from me, because he gets we're doing a circle and he has something to look at that he's circling around. Now I'm really testing it out to make sure that I'm making a circle and not just moving my arm in and out by resting the pole on my shoulder rather than in my hand. And then I think it might be good to see if we can spiral the circle down and still keep a nice bend. So I'm gonna ask my horse with my outside leg to start making the circle smaller. And he bends nicely around, and I put my hand back on the pole. We move around it a little bit. Get some nice crossing with the inside hind leg. We move back out, and I'm going to go ahead and turn him so he brings his head underneath and we can change direction. Not the most elegant turn, but we get the idea a little bit here. I prefer to keep my garrocha in my right hand always and my reins in my left hand, but you could certainly switch it if you wanted to. What is important though is to keep the garrocha in front of you. Try not to let your hand that holds the pole go behind you or let the pole go behind you at any moment. And it's also advisable to try and carry the garrocha in a turned up palm rather than grasping it overhand. So we're doing the same thing here. We're going in a circle, spiraling down. I brought my hand up, trying getting the pole vertical as he bends around it, helping with my outside leg there. And then we're going to spiral back out again, making sure that I can limit how much we spiral out so that the tip of our pole stays on the ground. All right, so we're going to turn around again. This one a little bit better this time. Obviously not the kind of turn you want to see in the working equitation because he pivots off of his hind legs, but I do like that he crossed his front legs and is getting his forelegs to cross over one another. And so we do a full turn here, just getting the idea of moving laterally away from the leg. So we did a right turn, and then we're going to stop. We're going to do a left turn here. I'm going to turn away from it this time. A little more hand than I would like there, but again, we get the idea of making a turn in a small space while we're handling an object. Now we're going to try it at this little trot here. Same thing, we're going to be diagnosing if the circle is truly round, where I need to be helping him out with my inside leg to make the circle bigger, my outside leg to keep the circle from getting too big. The garrocha naturally encourages him to bend to the inside here. And then we're going to try a turn to the outside. He's not so sure about that, getting his tail caught on it, but he's a good boy. He just walked there. We trot again, and we'll do the same thing. Notice how my hand is held with the palm facing up. You can spiral down a bit and back out. So here, now the pole's kind of on both of his eyes at the same time as it crosses over his body. I'm looking up here because we have lights in our arena and I don't want to hit them like I have in the past. I'm tossing the pole up in the air. This is a good skill to have for after you pick up the pole out of the drum, your ease of handling and your speed. It's important to be able to toss it up and grab it a little bit further down so that when you point it forward and go for the ring, you don't poke your horse in the butt. So that's a skill I like to practice. Here's another skill I like to practice for the horse. It helps him get used to seeing the pole swing by his eye, as he would, you know, when it comes down to spear the ring, and then back up after you've caught your ring and you're getting ready to put the pole in. I also like it because it gives me a chance to practice being on automatic pilot with my riding and doing something totally different with my using hand. Here I'm going to be getting down off of my horse. This is a do as I say, not as I do thing, where it's not the safest dismount you've ever seen with my foot still in the stirrup, but I do what I can here. And then being able to mount while I'm holding the pole again, in case I were to drop a pole while I was on course at a show and had to get back on while holding it. It's something that he would have experienced before.